reason why I have more blonde is because the reds were covered. Oh, we're live. Oh, hi! Welcome back! We are Women Unscripted, aren't we?
Yes, we are.
And you did catch us talking about hair and beauty and why my hair's
And
like.
you've got
it looks great.
You've got your lipstick already on.
And I did that beforehand. Welcome back, ladies. It seems
Good
like
to be
we have
here.
been like 2 months. It seems like.
Well, it is
But
2 months.
Has it been 2 months? Yeah, because
But it seems like a lot longer.
I know. And there's only 3 of us today. Welcome into Primetime. I'm
everybody.
one of your hosts, Barbara Marville Kelly. We have Helena Tringata, my person over here, Shara Kissler over here, amazing woman, of which we all are, and so are you if you're in the viewing audience. And we just got together finally again. We're missing number 4, Maura Sweeney. She is in Costa Rica, being the ambassador of happiness. And I have to say that she is out there spreading the happiness and like what she does, Maura for you, if you want to know more about Maura. But we decided that we are a little bit sort of kind of scripted today because it's almost Mother's Day. It'll be here before you know it. So we thought we would talk about being a mom and also maybe non-biological moms who have stepped in acting as moms. Maybe you are one of those, or maybe you know someone that is. And we're going to just kind of touch on that amongst other things. Helena has been doing something amazing that I can't wait to share that has really, that just went right to my heart. So we're going to be talking about that. Cher, you have been on the go. You just came back from hanging out with your 8th grade girlfriends?
I
Seriously.
have. It was a blast from the past. You know, when you get into that mindset.
What, your
with
8th grade mindset?
Yes. It's like you channel this whole other lifetime that you had when you're around the people and you're talking about all your memories and all the fun things you did. But then this personality starts emerging, you know, and we used to always laugh and tell silly jokes, and so we got into that. Well, I'm still into it. This is the good part. I can't kind of shake it, but it's been a lot of fun.
I know you were up there for how long?
Almost 2 weeks.
Almost 2 weeks?
Maybe 12 days, something like
goodness,
that. But it was really great. You start to realize how important those bonds are and how much fun you really do
have a friend from the 8th grade.
reuniting, you know, with people. We don't all look the same, and
You don't?
you say, I remember you. You know.
How many were in your group?
I don't know. Well, in our little group,
The one that you just met with.
well, there was a couple hundred people, you know, in the whole event.
In the 8th grade reunion,
But
you had a
wait
couple
minute.
hundred people?
This was our church, St. Mark's in Hyattsville, Maryland. But our class that we had, I don't even want to tell you what date it was, what year. But there was, I think, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of us, I think. And then a few others that joined. But there was different classes, you know, that went all through the years.
What age group was that 8th grade?
Well, it was like 13, 14.
Oh, that is a ripe age.
Are you kidding
I
me?
loved being 13.
I had a blast, but guess what?
You can remember 13?
Check this out.
I can't remember 13.
Now that was unscripted. I don't believe you said that.
I don't know if I can
All right, give me a fist bump on that. You got it.
We got to be with are you ready for this? Our 8th grade teacher.
You're kidding.
Who
It
would
was a
even think
nun
they'd be
at the
alive?
time.
Really?
No.
Well, her name is Mother Francesca, and her name's Cheryl now. And
She's no longer a nun?
No. But she looked fabulous.
Ooh, that's a
we
story.
had the best time.
Wish I was there.
Let's hear the story about her.
She's just doing wonderful. You know, she just decided to change her life at some point. But I got to see my friend Anita and Renee and Molly.
Should I say hi to them?
Hi, girls.
They were great.
Are they
We had a lot
watching?
of
We
fun.
talking
Yeah,
about
but
you girls?
We talking about mothering. We all had kind of similar childhood. And I was with my grandmother at times because my parents had gotten divorced, and so was my friend Anita, and so we all hung out and we kind of clung to one another, but we haven't always been in touch all through the years, but now and then. But it was like picking up where we left off.
Isn't that wonderful?
It was really
That's true
fun.
friendship when you can
It was
just
really fun.
pick up like that.
It was great.
That is
Is that-
fun.
I can't even imagine because I don't think I have anybody that goes back that far. I really don't.
Huh. Well, you know, there's on Facebook is Cooley High, which is my Go Cooley Cardinals. You know, that's the Facebook page that I go to. I'm actually in the process of trying to find an old school gal that I had gone to school with. So it's really nice when you can pick up where you left off and just kind of reminisce on way back then. You were telling us that you were in a singing group. Who wasn't back then, right? The garage bands,
that was the band that I got to see the following week. Yeah, that played when we were in high school.
That's fun.
The Nowhere Men.
That's
And
Nowhere Men?
The Nowhere Men.
But you were not a man and you were there.
No, we went to the churches in the Washington, Maryland, D.C. area, and they would play in all the Catholic churches on Sunday night, and we all went there to dance with our friends and learn all the dances. We'd be in the bathrooms during their breaks, you know, learning how to do the cool dances. And then we'd come out on the floor and do our stuff. It was a great era in our neighborhood.
It was. And where was
All the
this
Catholic
for you?
churches had dances in the
was-
Northeast.
Yeah,
I think
PG
Joe's.
County in Maryland, Hydesville, Maryland.
Yeah.
What
But-
county?
PG County, Prince George County.
Oh, okay.
How fun.
I don't know
It
what
was-
PG County means.
I mean, I don't know if we were unusual, but we had a really great time. Even if you didn't go to the same schools, you knew people in the neighborhood. You knew people from other high schools.
Mm-hmm.
We were all friends. In fact, at that dance, I got to see my friend Mary Jo, and her family came. We had the neighborhood.
So did you have a dance while you were there?
Did I what?
Did you have a dance while you were there?
Yeah, I was dancing.
Of course.
My son came up to surprise us, my son Sean.
You didn't know?
No, had no clue, but we had a blast. So it was that was like a whole reunion week for me personally.
No, I kept seeing you post on Facebook. So,
It was
getting
really
back,
fun.
Talking about women who are maybe nurturers, like as a mom and that kind of thing, it can almost be that way with girlfriends,
That's exactly
where
right.
they nurture one another. And we talk about that. Cher happens to have the Amazing Women group that you started, 6-7 years ago?
7 going on 8.
And I tell you, this is an energetic group of gals. She had her meeting today, which we couldn't go to. It's the first one we've missed in quite a little while. And we'll tell you what this one was doing today. But, there's a nurturing energy with all the women there, a lot of positive energy, and we feed off of one another.
It is. Well, one thing I realized too is that, especially being with the old friends from so many years ago, is that inspiration, that support. I've always craved that.
Yeah.
And maybe it was a feel or a need that I had, to fill myself. But I still have that. I think that's
Right.
what we're doing in the women's group.
Yes, yes.
It's just that we're bigger kids now.
But we haven't lost that little girl
That's
in our
right.
hearts.
But we're all still sharing,
Yeah.
inspiring, And it works.
This little girl's coloring.
And this little girl is coloring. Yeah, talk about women unscripted.
Show what you're
This
doing.
is so
Can
cool.
You see this?
That is so cool.
She's got this Mandela coloring book.
You just started that.
On
I
her
did
tablet.
today. Yes. And it's so fun because I mentioned to some of you before, I think on another
Turn
thing
that around so you could see.
that they
This is so cool.
I love it.
I actually bought the coloring book. I bought a paper coloring book and I bought some colors and it was like, yeah, that's not as fun as I thought it would be. But then I got my new birthday gift here and I can color on here and I just am enjoying it. And instead of actually having to scribble color, which apparently is not my strong suit,
Staying in the lines.
I can just do this and hit here and it becomes the color. If you hit it twice, the color goes away, which is perfect for the perfectionist in me who doesn't want to. I probably could not create anything this nice and in the lines.
Oh my goodness. I'll tell you, they have everything in software, right? That is, and it's very
is so
relaxing. They've done so many studies on
I know it.
coloring.
Even the digital one is very relaxing, and
Yeah.
I haven't got a time to play with it yet because it's pretty new and I've been busy. But
Therapeutic.
it is therapeutic, and I feel good about it.
and she's got attitude about
I got
it
some
too.
attitude.
See?
Yes, I do.
I
so-
know.
That's
And if I
really neat.
decide I don't like that color, I just go back and click that, It's white again.
Instead of trying to erase, right?
Yes, because
With good old
my father was the one who would tear up my papers and throw them away, saying it wasn't good enough. So those good enough issues have followed me through my entire life, of course, like most of this. It's not anything new. And I don't have to worry if I'm good enough.
That's right,
because
because
I can
you
do any
are.
color I want.
That's it.
And I am good enough to do this, and I don't have to worry about anybody throwing it away because you can't squish that.
That is amazing how something like that would stay with you. So basically, you can change this, and it actually does end up being perfect. Everything's
Yes.
perfectly in the line. There's absolutely no judgment, and you feel good after that.
But it's a mandala. The actual drawing is by someone else.
Yes.
And I do realize as I'm coloring it with my pen, it is not perfect. It's not the same on every little piece. And I'm fine with that.
And that's okay. Just as kind of like life, right? Not everything is perfect in life, just like artwork.
This is therapeutic.
Oh yeah,
I mean, just to do anything like that.
I know, it's fun.
And
And you know,
so
some of us who do not
gratifying.
have the artsy craft, creative side, which I don't probably have as much as some people do. I have a lot of creativity, just not on the artsy side. To me, this is as probably good as you drawing a drawing from scratch. See what I'm saying? And you just have to find your happy place.
I love it. We all see. This is what we. This is why we do it. You know what? It's about arriving. You have arrived.
Yes.
This is something that you're doing for that happy place. Maybe you are doing something similar to this, or who knows? It is that I
Some
like
people
that.
crochet, you know, when they're watching TV, and some people color, and some people do whatever.
This is my
So-
happy place right here.
Oh, yeah,
this
This
a
is
happy
my
place,
happy
too.
place with you and with the crew, my superhero crew. This is my happy place. I
Hi,
love it.
superheroes.
Huh?
I like the fact you call them superheroes.
They are
Hi, guys.
superheroes. Are you kidding? They do such a fantastic job. Did you see? We've had back-to-back shows here all day long.
Yeah, that's true.
It's amazing, absolutely amazing. But you know, it's nice to be able to come on the show and just have a little conversation, you know, about things that maybe you are interested in. Maybe you're not, but you might get interested, especially when we are unscripted. But because it is Mother's Day, and there's a lot of people going through. You and I talked about this on the phone this morning when I was confirming your presence as our honored guest, and we were talking about so
Just
many
make sure
people
I was gonna be here.
people are going through so much stuff.
There is.
Drama stuff. And, you know, we all feel like we've sort of rose above that, but we had to find our own way, didn't we?
Absolutely.
We had to find our own way.
Absolutely.
But with the support and nurturing of friends, mothers, or even stand-in moms that are like a mom, I mean, it does go a long way.
I think so.
And I think we have, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I think we have to remember it's a choice, too.
Yeah.
I think we have to remember it's a choice because we all have a choice when we get out of bed, whether we're going to let that drama rule our world or whether we're going to allow ourselves to rule that world. And that ourselves, you know, I'm not taking anything away from our higher power because for me, he and I rule this, you know, this day, so to speak. So I think it's a choice too that we make before we even get out of bed. Who's going to
Who's
be
in
in charge
control?
today? Who's in charge today? I'm in charge today. And I'm not going to let that brokenness or the, you know, the guy who pulls in front of me, I'm not going to let that bother me.
Distractions.
Yes.
And after all, they're doing the
Distractions.
best they can with what they have to work with.
Absolutely.
And they haven't arrived yet. So it's, you know, our perception of life's happenings, and we've talked about this many, many times before. There's so much in gratitude and appreciation. And as a mom, it just seems like every day is a day of gratitude being a mom.
But did your mom talk about that when you were growing up?
Of course not.
My mom didn't either. I mean,
No.
we said prayer before meals. That was the closest thing we got to gratitude, you know. But I never heard my mother talk about making a choice. My mother was a stay-at-home mom.
We
She did a
didn't have a
great
choice.
job.
We didn't have a choice either.
Oh, we didn't have a choice.
Eat
but
this or go hungry.
I don't feel my mom thought she had a choice either. I mean, she, I think, you know, and, you know, she's gone now, so I can't really ask her these questions, but I think that she got up in the morning and she knew what she had to do, and it wasn't always her choice.
Right.
Because she had 4 kids to feed and bathe and create clothing for or whatever that she had to do. She had a husband to get out the door, and even though she stayed home, and I know that there are many people now that might think that she was lucky to do that, that was somewhat limiting for her because she didn't have the ability maybe to create the support group
Exactly.
that we might have created.
Hold that thought. We're going to take a break. We'll
Okay.
pick this up right when we get back. Stay there and hope you're enjoying the show. We'll be right back after this.
This is one bee that loves going to the dentist because it's made for you and me.
My name is Dr. Becerra from New Tampa Pediatric Dental, providing a comfortable atmosphere in early dental care. Gives kids a great start for healthy teeth and gums for life.
When I go to Dr. B, they don't do anything to hurt you.
I used to be afraid, but I'm not now. I'm not afraid of the dentist anymore. I love to see Dr. B. Call New Tampa Pediatric Dental today.
Revolutionary in his field, Dr. Bonatti created, perfected, and patented the Bonatti spine procedures. Using his genius, Bonatti invented precise tools necessary to minimize surgery, scarring, anesthesia, and recovery. So successful are the Bonatti spine procedures, they consistently reflect over 94% patient satisfaction. 45,000 successful procedures have been performed exclusively at our location. Nearly half our patients suffer from failed back and neck surgeries at other facilities. Bonatti succeeds where others fail.
Everyone's story is different, so why be limited to just one or two options? With Norcom's Norflex Home Loan, you're given the flexibility to tell your story. Pick your terms from 8 to 30 years, all while maintaining a low, fixed mortgage rate. You can pay off your loan more quickly or choose a term based on your budget and timeline. Whatever you do with the Norflex Home Loan, make it part of your financial plan. Norflex, short-term, long-term, your terms. Apply online at norcommortgage.com.
This is one bee that loves going to the dentist because it's made for you and me.
My name is Dr. Becerra from New Tampa Pediatric Dental, providing a comfortable atmosphere in early dental care. Gives kids a great start for healthy teeth and gums for life.
When I go to Dr. B, they don't do anything to hurt you.
I used to be afraid, but I'm not now. I'm not afraid of the dentist anymore. I love to see Dr. B. Call New Tampa Pediatric Dental today.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back into Primetime TV Show. This day is all about Women Unscripted. We do this special segment because it was just organically conceived a while back with my girls here. So welcome into the show. I'm Barbara Marville Kelly. With me is Helena Trengata and Cher Kistler. It's great once again to be back in the saddle again. And I love talking about being a mom. It's one of my favorite things to do. But, you know, women and moms have evolved over time, and even during the break we were just talking about how back then so many moms just stayed at home, but then Cher, you brought up how that was when, like, our moms, it was starting to transition.
That's
and
right.
Some of them were going back to work. Helena, you said your mom was home all the time and she never worked. She never
She
went back
didn't
to
even
work.
drive. She didn't have a car.
Yeah.
Yes.
So if she went anywhere, she had to. A girlfriend had to pick her up. Most of my mom's friends were neighbors and the church ladies. I mean, I sound like, you know, now with Saturday Night Live, the church ladies, but wasn't quite that kind of a crew. But I mean, she had very little time out of the house. I mean, I would probably go crawling up the walls if I were in, you know, in the not able to leave like that. You know, I think I have to have wheels in the driveway at all times.
Now, did your father want that for her? Was that his choice for her? Just out of curiosity.
I don't really know. You know, you talk about choices. I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't think I think that my mother, and I guess a lot of that generation, they just did what their mothers had done.
Right.
And my mother believed that she should get married, have a family, and take care of them.
And yes, and the women were, the housekeepers. It was about building, making a home, cooking, getting the kids off to school,
Gardening.
raising kids. Yeah, it was all centered around the home.
Right.
And also I just remember, especially my aunt was also a really big influence in my life. And just the neighborhood kids would kind of gravitate to their yard. We would play games and be on the swing set. And it seemed like all the neighborhoods were like that at the time. It was very simple time.
Yeah,
you
it
know?
was. It wasn't.
And what you're going to have for dinner.
Right.
That
was the topic.
The dinner bell. You remember
Okay.
the dinner bell?
Yeah,
Did you have that?
I didn't have one, but
Different people
I remember
would ring
some
the bell,
people
so you
did.
come in from playing.
Be home by the
Yeah.
street lights when the street lights go on, right?
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Did you grow up in the city or the suburbs?
both. I started growing up in Detroit. Detroit,
Wow.
Michigan.
See, I never
Oh, yeah.
lived in the city. I always lived in the
Some of
suburbs.
the suburbs too.
Yeah, but then as we got
so we
older,
didn't-
Too.
Our whole social life was totally different than,
Sure,
like, for example, what
sure.
mine would be today. We didn't go to the movies. We didn't go out to dinner.
No.
We basically had friends over for dinner. We would have a lot of friends over to the house, or we would go to their house. A lot of our entertainment was actually church activities.
yeah. It's funny how times have changed too. I mean, big time.
We
Big
had
changes.
a good time.
Family.
in
The
our
other
place.
thing was family.
Yeah.
The family would all come over for birthday parties or whatever.
We had lots of celebrations.
You guys
Neighborhood
did a lot of fun
celebrations.
stuff.
We did. I mean, 4th of
still
July,
do.
the whole
They
neighborhood.
still do.
They
Well,
dress up
exactly.
and they
Yeah, we still
They
do.
they do their shows and stuff.
It was just a very interconnected,
Apparently,
neighborhood. It
very
was.
creative family.
It was. I don't know if it was just we were talking about the 50s and the 60s, 70s. Music was big. We all
was.
had our favorite. I remember playing, just playing your albums and having
And being
these
okay with that.
dance parties. I mean,
Yep.
it was a great time. I mean, I just feel like we had one of the best eras.
I do
of,
too. I
you
do
know,
too. I wouldn't give my childhood up for anything except for a few little bit of the drama and baggage. But other than that, I mean, I was into dancing and music just like you, and every weekend. Imagine that.
And there was a different, I was talking to my girlfriend when I was driving up here, and we were talking about how, let's say in behavior and things like that, that you had to be well behaved or else you had a punishment. Or if you were at school, your teachers would say, well, we're going to call your parents. And that
Yes.
and that was like the worst thing.
I know, right?
Now it's a different situation in this culture. with-
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
different with the parents, and everybody is.
Now you had your grandma that was helping to
That's right.
bring you up.
That's right.
Because
well,
your
when
mom
my
was
parents
working.
divorced and mother went out, to work, then I stayed with my grandmother. And but it's like the women tribe. I think
Yes.
it always
Yes.
was like that. It was like the grandmother lived in the homes,
Yes.
with the parents and the kids.
Did you
and
have that?
Took care.
I didn't have
Yeah,
that.
I did.
didn't have the Did you have grandmother
No,
in the house?
I didn't, but I remember a lot of families
did.
did. Yes.
Yeah.
They did that, but
my
that-
grandmother came over occasionally. She wasn't like 2 towns away. But that had to be, a lot of, like, for example, in
Yeah.
Joe's family, Italian families, they had grandma right there.
And they
Joe
do the
also was
cooking
raised
sometimes.
by his grandmother for
Yeah.
different periods in his life. I didn't really have that. I
Yeah,
didn't-
a lot of families did it. And I think I talk to people today where there's a lot of people going back to that.
Well, now a lot of the
people.
children are being raised by grandparents because the parents, for whatever reason, are not available. So we've gone back to that. It's really
both parents have to go out to make a living. It's just a sign of the times.
But if they're
So-
living with the parents and they're both out making
Yeah.
a living, it's a little.
yeah, but they get babysitters and the kids are going to daycare.
So the child is being mothered by the nanny or the babysitter.
That's right.
Right,
If
or the
grandma
daycare.
is not in their life,
Right.
that's what I'm
Or the
saying. And
daycare.
so one would hope that those choices are good. And of course, we bless them and hope that that's the case, but we hope that there's somebody else that's giving them the nurturing and love that they might have been getting from a grandmother.
Yeah,
Because it's
yeah.
a little disconcerting. It could be a little disconcerting,
Sure.
you know, and you have these children that mom and dad are just, they've what's the word? They've stepped out.
Yeah, exactly.
They've stepped out of the picture because of drugs or alcohol or some type of abuse, and the child is left sometimes in a foster home.
That's true. And those
That is true.
And those things are always happening, always going to happen. And I think that as a mom, and you make these decisions for your own life, but the kids, they're waiting for you to make the decisions for their life. And, well, maybe you're going to have a caregiver come in. And, you know, who is that caregiver? For my kids, when I did go back to work, after I waited for the nurturing time, they say 18 months, right? I was home for a couple of years with each one of my boys, but they always had a grandma. Their grandma always babysat for them. And so
they were
had-
lucky.
They
We were
were
lucky.
Oh,
Very
we were
lucky.
so fortunate. Or my
They're
sister.
blessed.
Yes, they really were.
Well,
Your
that
sister. I love your sister.
I know.
that sister tribe, you know, if you just go way back in history, I think of, did y'all see the movie The Red Tent?
Yes.
Not
yes.
yet. I have the book.
Okay, well, this was going back, showing the women back in the Old Testament, and
They were definitely
it was
mothers to all.
Very
everyone.
interesting of how they had that culture of that support and that nurturing, helping each other through childbirth, for
Yes.
instance. It was a big thing, but it was this
But they also mothered.
archetype of the women at the
The
time.
mothers would mother everyone's children. They were like
That's
aunts
right.
to the family. You know, if you were calling them sisters, that would make them aunts.
Right.
And so, you know, where this child might have an issue with something, couldn't talk to his mom and dad about, but he could talk to his aunt
Yes,
over
yes,
here, or
yes.
possibly even the aunt and
And
the
that's
uncle.
that's still that way.
You know, and
is. But
with
it's the
the
whole
families being so
nurturing.
disjointed these days, you know, with the aunts and uncles living, like your sister, across the country, it's not as quite as convenient. And so, you know, I'm hoping that the parents that have children at home today are finding those other ways of creating a tribe for their family.
Yeah, it makes a big difference.
Well, there's a lot today. I mean, there's a whole movement with conscious parenting, which I think is fantastic, and this is making people, I think there's more of an expansive idea on parenting. I mean, I look at my nieces and, you know, it's like this other generation. They're all having children now. As a matter of fact, I'm so excited. It just came to me. We have a brand new baby being born tomorrow.
Oh, congratulations.
Yes, we're going to welcome little Maya, my niece, Kristen and Jared, and they have little Xavier, but they're going to welcome a new baby. Yes,
wow.
my sister's daughter. And, but they're just, I think that there's parenting too, that is on this creative, expansive side. I think they do parenting very different than we did, even when I was a young mother.
They do.
know.
We're going to take a break here, and then when we come back, we'll talk more about parenting and all. And I'm very happy with my son and my daughter-in-law and how they're parenting little JD. It's pretty amazing. I'm very proud of both of them. So we're going to take
That's
a break,
right.
and when we come back, we'll talk more about what it's like, you know, being a mom. How do you feel about it, and kind of reflection. So don't go anywhere, okay?
This is one bee that loves going to the dentist because it's made for you and me.
My name is Dr. Becerra from New Tampa Pediatric Dental, providing a comfortable atmosphere in early dental care. Gives kids a great start for healthy teeth and gums for life.
When I go to Dr. B, they don't do anything to hurt you.
I used to be afraid, but I'm not now. I'm not afraid of the dentist anymore. I love to see Dr. B. Call New Tampa Pediatric Dental today.
Revolutionary in his field, Dr. Bonatti created, perfected, and patented the Bonatti spine procedures. Using his genius, Bonatti invented precise tools necessary to minimize surgery, scarring, anesthesia, and recovery. So successful are the Bonatti spine procedures, they consistently reflect over 94% patient satisfaction. 45,000 successful procedures have been performed exclusively at our location. Nearly half our patients suffer from failed back and neck surgeries at other facilities. Bonatti succeeds where others fail.
Everyone's story is different, so why be limited to just one or two options? With Norcom's Norflex Home Loan, you're given the flexibility to tell your story. Pick your terms from 8 to 30 years, all while maintaining a low, fixed mortgage rate. You can pay off your loan more quickly or choose a term based on your budget and timeline. Whatever you do with the Norflex home loan, make it part of your financial plan. Norflex, short-term, long-term, your terms. Apply online at norcommortgage.com.
This is one bee that loves going to the dentist because it's made for you and me.
My name is Dr. Becerra from New Tampa Pediatric Dental, providing a comfortable atmosphere in early dental care. Gives kids a great start for healthy teeth and gums for life.
When I go to Dr. B, they don't do anything to hurt you.
I used to be afraid, but I'm not now. I'm not afraid of the dentist anymore. I love to see Dr. B. Call New Tampa Pediatric Dental today.
Hi everyone, welcome back into Primetime TV show with our special show called Women Unscripted. My girls are with me once again. It's great to have you back and talk about just down-to-earth stuff and sort of reminiscing, and being that Mother's Day is going to be coming upon us before our next show, I just thought it would be kind of fun and just talk about just life and just what we went through as moms then, how things have changed today, and I also want to talk about what Helena's doing to really stand in as a mom. But just before we took the break, you were going to mention something about conscious parenting, and I see that with my kids. So what is that difference?
The quick version is that with conscious parenting, the parents really are looking from the child's perspective, and really nurturing their talents and abilities. Where I remember when I was a new mom, I was just trying to do all the right things and it was more of the care of the child. And I think, just looking at my two sons, they each had very different personalities, and you had to nurture that. But now I think people are just into this different awareness.
Yeah.
And the kids are doing amazing things.
Well, the kids are different today.
The little ones, they're on the cell phones. They know how to, access the apps. They're playing games.
Yes.
They can read books. It's extraordinary what the kids are doing. So they're being nurtured in a different way.
And if JD, my grandson, wasn't a little over 2, I wouldn't be able to address something, but I've been observing them raise this little guy. And the way they're doing this conscious parenting because they understand JD. For example, when they tell me how they're doing this, I'm going, wow, that is just very cool. So he has a little fit, right? He gets mad. And you know what? It's all in your perception of this. And they've analyzed, and I can agree with them, he isn't talking as much as he can or wants to. So if he's trying to explain something that what he wants and you aren't getting it, he gets really mad about it. Like it's as if his brain is thinking, why aren't you getting this? And so then he starts to have a fit and fall in it. But normally, like back then, it was you had an unruly child. No, there's a reason for why he is communicating like this, because he's frustrated. He's so gosh darn smart, but the brain isn't bringing all the words out, and we don't get it.
But they're taking it all in.
They're taking it all in.
They're taking every little thing in. They're just like these little brainiacs, and they're 2 and 3 years old walking around.
Yeah, they are.
They figured it all out. They may not be able to express it,
Right,
you know.
right.
But the language is there in their own way. And I
Yes.
think that's what conscious parenting is, observing the child from their point of view, from their
They're
perspective.
taking time for it. They're taking the time
Absolutely.
to do that.
I think Oprah had a show on it, and I can't remember the doctor's name that came up with this, and she has a book. I'll have to look on there. But it really is an amazing perspective. In fact, we're learning that in just our own interpersonal relationships,
Yes.
to look deeper, to be more aware, to be more awakened.
and to- that's it.
And it's not just about mimicking our role models and things like that, but it's about learning about yourself and
Of
about your
course.
authenticity.
Yep, it
coming
is.
from that space.
Speaking of authenticity, if my artist here
Yes.
would like to take a break, which I love. This is Unscripted, and I knew that she had this software, and I'm excited that
It
you brought
is.
that on.
Very cool.
If you wouldn't have done that, and I knew you had it, I would have said, bring that out. But I really want to
Yes.
commend you for what you're doing. We were talking about being a parent, or standing in as a parent, or filling in when there's a void of a parent. And Helena told me what she was going to be doing months ago, and I thought, that is the coolest thing that I can ever think of. And I'm not going to steal her thunder. I'm going to let you tell me why you're rocking babies. We can't tell who or where.
Awesome.
But why did you start? I'm getting all teary-eyed
I know, it's
just thinking
awesome.
about it. It's just amazing. You're rocking babies.
So awesome.
You know what? It's something I've wanted to do for a long time, but it's probably off more on my heart because of the fact that my grandchildren are all out of state, and I got to rock them a little bit, but not a whole lot. And everybody, some people like babies, some people don't like babies. I happen to love babies.
Me too.
And I like, for example, my nephew, I rocked him when he was little, and I feel like we'll always have a special bond because I got to rock him and spend some time with him. And this was a period of my father's illness, and so we had, they lived out of state, so I wouldn't have gotten that chance if my father hadn't been ill. And they came there, and I went there, and I got to hold this little boy and just bond with him. I felt like I was bonding with him, and just like you said, JD's not talking. I'm talking about way before they're talking.
Right.
So when the NICU opened here, they asked for cuddlers. Baby cuddlers, and I applied, and I was able to start volunteering to cuddle babies, and it has been amazing because I get so much more than I could ever give that baby. You see the baby and you give it love, as I do, because that's what I do. I love people in general, obviously, but these babies are just so. They're like little sponges, and they pick up all the love that you have, and then they fill my soul. They fill my soul, and because it's in the NICU, they've had some challenges with their birthing, or whatever. It doesn't matter what the reason is. The whole point is that we're lucky to have the first NICU in Pasco County.
So this is
That's
brand new.
awesome.
It's brand new. It opened a couple of months ago, and they've got fabulous staff there, fabulous facilities, and it's been such a joy for me. And when I leave there, I just feel full of the love, and I get so much more than I give.
Well, and there's so much heart connection there, and the science through Heart Math Institute, as you and I have talked, and that's why it went on my heart when you told me you were doing this, because of the connection and understanding the science behind our hearts when we connect, just by being around and within 12 feet.
That's right.
The connection
that's
is
why we feel
there.
good with the sister, with our sisters as well.
Exactly.
You know,
And they
it's,
say even just watching acts of kindness.
Yes, yes.
Just watching acts of kindness.
Yes.
Well, I
We
forgot-
are recipient of that. And
Yes.
we will feel that. But being kind, but she's one of the most loving, softest,
I know.
loving people I know,
thank
Helena.
you, but it's
And
like I just
those
get so
babies
much from
probably
them.
feel that love from you.
There was a woman yesterday who spoke at the All Children's Hospital Guild, a fundraiser that we had yesterday, and this woman had adopted. She specialized in adopting children with Down syndrome. And she has 4.
Wow.
And I talk about a hero. She is a hero. That she and her husband have adopted these children and they've actually had to go through, they got them from another country, so they had to go through all of that legal mumbo jumbo that I don't even know how to do all that. And these children are here in a loving space. Absolutely. And what? To have a normal child, to adopt a normal child is I think that's hero enough.
Right.
But to adopt a child knowing that they've got all these challenges, that woman is definitely my hero. And she had one of them with her yesterday, and probably the youngest one with her yesterday. And one of the reasons she spoke there is they had used all children's hospital services, so they were helpful as they were transitioning the children to a healthy environment, because they were coming from a country where they weren't even getting their needs met. So they came in with some extra challenges that they might not have had they been born in the States, for example. So this young woman, whose name was Jennifer, she's the hero.
Huge.
I love hearing. I couldn't wait to hear how this went for you with these babies, and I knew it was going to go just the way it was supposed to.
But I think too, rather the parent isn't there, to give that love,
right,
or to talk about special needs parents. I have some dear friends that has a son with special needs, and they are such an extraordinary, loving, giving, nurturing. And you wonder, because what I hear from them too is that because they're in that situation, it kind of brings you up into another level. So that you can actually, it's like the child is giving you that experience to find different depths and expansion of your own love. Like you're
it takes you into a higher level.
Another level,
right,
that you don't even know you're capable of.
Yes.
I have a couple of friends, and a single parent friend of mine too, her son with special needs. And it's just amazing to watch their capacity for love and have patience, and just what you're doing, Helena, too, is it all comes from that compassion, comes from the heart. It's so remarkable and admirable to watch people,
because it's so pure. With us, it's special and it's wonderful. Don't get me wrong, but when you're working with a practically newborn baby, it's just that purity of you just see and feel that God is filling this baby with love as you're sharing with the baby, and that baby is sharing not love, but it's just like this beautiful circle of love.
Now, we're going to take another break here in just a couple of seconds, but are you getting attached to the same ones?
No, because there's only been one that's been there more than one visit for me, which I think that's good for me, because I told Barbara last week, I said, if they'd asked me, can you just take this little one home, I would say yes, and then Joe would have been surprised. I think, oh my goodness, yes.
Well, on that note, we're going to take a break, and we'll have more good stories to come.
Wonderful story.
This is one bee that loves going to the dentist because it's made for you and me.
My name is Dr. Becerra from New Tampa Pediatric Dental, providing a comfortable atmosphere in early dental care. Gives kids a great start for healthy teeth and gums for life.
When I go to Dr. B, they don't do anything to hurt you.
I used to be afraid, but I'm not now. I'm not afraid of the dentist anymore. I love to see Dr. B. Call New Tampa Pediatric Dental today.
Revolutionary in his field, Dr. Bonatti created, perfected, and patented the Bonatti spine procedures. Using his genius, Bonatti invented precise tools necessary to minimize surgery, scarring, anesthesia, and recovery. So successful are the Bonatti spine procedures, they consistently reflect over 94% patient satisfaction. 45,000 successful procedures have been performed exclusively at our location. Nearly half our patients suffer from failed back and neck surgeries at other facilities. Bonatti succeeds where others fail.
Everyone's story is different, so why be limited to just one or two options? With Norcom's Norflex Home Loan, you're given the flexibility to tell your story. Pick your terms from 8 to 30 years, all while maintaining a low, fixed mortgage rate. You can pay off your loan more quickly or choose a term based on your budget and timeline. Whatever you do with the Norflex home loan, make it part of your financial plan. Norflex, short-term, long-term, your terms. Apply online at norcommortgage.com.
This is one bee that loves going to the dentist because it's made for you and me.
My name is Dr. Becerra from New Tampa Pediatric Dental, providing a comfortable atmosphere in early dental care. Gives kids a great start for healthy teeth and gums for life.
When I go to Dr. B, they don't do anything to hurt you.
I used to be afraid, but I'm not now. I'm not afraid of the dentist anymore. I love to see Dr. B. Call New Tampa Pediatric Dental today.
And welcome back, everyone, to Primetime TV Show with our special edition of Women Unscripted. We air every last Monday of the month. So, and you never know when we may expand these shows and change it up a little bit and have more guests on and things of that nature. I am Barbara Marvel. We have Helena Trengata and Cher Kistler. And when we, just before we took the break, we were talking about something Helena is doing, and we decided during the break that she is just giving unconditional love by rocking newborn babies that are in need, where the parent can't be there for the time being or whatever, correct?
Right.
Yeah, and you are doing, I know you're doing amazing. I wish you could take pictures. I would. I wish
no,
I could.
they wouldn't
I know you
let that.
can't, but I could. I bet it would just emanate through a camera.
I think if you saw me when I left the NICU, I think that you would actually feel it. I feel like when I leave there, I feel so just full of love.
You're just radiating.
You know, when we're talking about unconditional love, that's what I was like. I was hoping that we could just say that. You know, there's always going to be that child, and maybe you were that child, who needs a little extra something, and sometimes they show it by acting out. So if you have a child in your life like that, maybe he's not yours, maybe you're the uncle, maybe you're the somebody else's child is doing this. If you can show that child some unconditional love, I think that would be a wonderful thing, because of the fact that we've probably all had those people in our lives.
Sure.
Not, I mean, we do now too, but I'm talking about in our formative years. Yeah. You know, we had, you said you had your grandma, and I had this special aunt who, didn't have children at that time, and so she would kind of come along and give me a little extra TLC. And I had a grandma too who wasn't local, but when she came in, she wrote me letters. I love the fact that she wrote me letters.
Oh, isn't that sweet? I had a grandma that sewed clothes for me and dressed me up in all kinds of frills and ruffles. Imagine that.
Can you?
But my grandpa, he was my real pride and joy, and he wrote he left me a diary. Yeah. And I still I still have it. The binding is falling apart, but the memories that he left in there, like, they called me Babs. That's what my nickname was for Barbara, Babs. And he'd say, "Oh, Babs, you have to stop pulling your hair out when you're mad. You just can't do that." And just crazy things like that. And it was just.
He said it at the time, or he wrote it, or both.
He said it, but he wrote it, and he was
good advice.
I know. It's amazing I still have all this hair after pulling my hair out, right, as a little girl. So I worked through that. I don't know why I did that. Maybe that's my lashing out, because I was at that age where I couldn't express myself, and goodness knows how I express myself today. Can you imagine how mad I was from back then when I could? But you know, that is so endearing to me, to have that diary. It just means the world to me. And when I lost him, I was devastated. I was just a young kid.
We have a treasure.
It is a treasure.
Yes.
It is, and I think.
I'm sorry, go ahead. I just want to say
that-
that's a reminder that how we can do that for other people.
Exactly. That's why every moment, whether it's on FaceTime or JD's with me, I mean, I resort myself down to a little kid's level. And I don't care what's around me. I just want to nurture him and love him and have fun, and we're bonding, you know, over
Absolutely.
time. So it's you know, what you're doing is amazing with the babies, but it can be anybody with anybody. It may be you with a neighbor, you know, a neighbor's child that, you know, maybe the parents are, you know, people are working two and three jobs
right.
today, and it's nice when you can step in and be that sort of parent.
You could be a babysitter, you know.
Of
Many of
course.
us don't have kids locally, and so if
Right.
you can be a babysitter for someone,
Yep.
you could give them 3 hours a week. That would be a great gift. I mean, just to let them have a little time to get their sanity back.
You know what I love too? I'm going to bring this up real quick, but I always admired Bill's mom, my husband Bill. His mom would always say, "There's my little boy." I mean, isn't it true when we had our parents that we were still their little princess or the little boy, and it just that is unconditional love too.
Yeah.
I still feel that kind of love that I had from my parents and grandparents, and even Rose, Bill's mom. She was just so endearing and sweet. But it's just like you say, there's things that we can do. Like I love my sons are grown men, and I still feel like they're my little boys sometimes.
I know,
you know, and they're so darling, and I just feel so full of wanting to let them know that I love them. But you know. But then,
Because they're boys, they're going, "Mom."
Yeah, because a mom can do that. That's what you know. That's what moms are for.
Yeah, and they want to say that
we
to
can
them.
do that.
You say, "You'll always be my little boy. You'll
Yeah.
always be my baby."
That's right.
You know.
Yeah.
But I think that's true. And
But
even
they
with
doesn't
each
mean they
other,
like it.
you know, it's just it's a better world when I think we're just a little bit more tolerant, more patient, more loving. And just know that we all need that love.
Absolutely.
You know?
And
from the
you know,
babies to the
To the seniors. I mean, yes. You know,
Even we need that love from
That's
our
right.
kids. You know, I know you have your moments. Your kids don't live here. I'm fortunate that mine do. They're only an hour and a half away. Your kids are here, aren't they?
They are.
Yeah. So it's, you know, it's some
My
really
two
mixed
boys.
emotions with all of that.
It
You
is.
know.
And when I went up for this reunion and we were at this dance, and I felt these arms come around and give me a hug, and I turned around and it's my son. He had flown up there to surprise
Now
me.
that's unconditional,
right,
unscripted.
Totally unscripted.
Love
I had
it.
no clue. And I'm blubbering like a baby because I'm like, what are you doing here? But what was special is he was sharing that moment with me. And I think that's the key is how we can be in the present and really share that moment with the people that we love, show the love, create that love. I mean,
he wanted to see you enjoying yourself.
Right. Well, his dad was there too, and you know, the family was there and friends were there. And it was so special for me personally, but for everyone there. Everyone was sharing with us.
I love it.
But I love moments like that. And I think that's where we can use that, you know, to empower ourselves to create moments like that.
Absolutely. And on
so
that
I really
note,
appreciated him.
That is such a beautiful story. And on that note, we only have 5 minutes till we close the show. I want you guys to just think of one little tidbit you want to leave everyone with prior to Mother's Day, aside from wishing those of you out there Happy Mother's Day. I'm going to let you go first there, Miss Thang.
Well, I'd have to say, call your mama. Call your mama. You can never call her enough. And that's coming from me, who the kids are so busy and they have so much to do. And I know you guys all have so much to do. When I say you all, I'm sure that we have some people that are from a younger generation than us, and they still have kids at home. And we appreciate you, and we know that you are sharing as much love as you can with your own family, but don't forget mama. Don't forget your mama and your daddy. You know, call them and let them know. You know, text them. I mean, a call is perfect. FaceTime is perfect.
Yes.
But, you know, if you can't do that, at least text them and let them know you love them. I mean, that's worth more than any gift, just an ongoing, regular call from the kids. You have no idea how we treasure it.
It's true.
And it doesn't cost you anything.
That's right. Share.
Well, I think it's important to find, like I said, creative ways to let people know how you feel about them while we're all here. And it could just be a card, something, some little sentiment. I had these bracelets that I took up north, and I had 6 bracelets that I brought for the dinner with my school friends. My aunt was there, my teacher from 8th grade was there. And we had 6 bracelets, and each person, we passed all the bracelets around so that each person had a chance to hold on to each one.
Nice.
And now I have that memory and that love.
Yes.
And I think just thoughtful gestures like that, and it's a keepsake.
Right.
And when you have a keepsake like this, it could be something really, just a small thing. You keep it in your heart.
That's
And
right. That's right. And it's
something you'll never forget.
You're creating an anchor, and
Yes.
when you look at that, that's putting those same chemicals back into your system. You know, it really is. For me, I have to agree with both of you guys. Is just call your mom for one thing. Always try to call your mom. Don't text. Call your mom, and most importantly, spread and share as much love as you can, even with people that aren't your children, because I think the moms are the mainstay of the household. They're kind of like the glue. Of course, we can't do it without dads, but I really feel that, and I've learned that. My mother-in-law from my kid's biological father told me that many, many years ago, and she said, we were very attached, we were very close, Edna May, and she'd say, "You're really a smart daughter-in-law. You don't go to your mom about issues with your husband. You come to the mom because she's going to love him no matter what, right?" But that's a whole different story. But honestly, you can have that relationship, and the more as moms share, dads share love. I mean, we can change this world just through that one 4-letter word.
It is.
And
Amen.
I just think that if we each just do our part. I know we're all going through, you know, different changes in life and arriving at different times. There's many growth spurts, even around the planet, for heaven's sakes. But when we get back to our core and our spirit and our soul and loving one another, that's how this show was born. That is exactly how this show was born.
That is
From Helena just coming to my house that one night and being there for me, just supportive, to joining amazing women, to Maura Sweeney, who was just going nutsy cuckoo over one of your meetings I spoke at, and she says, "Oh, Barbara, you're such a woman unscripted." I go, "Stop, that's it." That was the name of the show, and we just evolved into this show.
And here we are.
And here we are, and we're getting likes and views on Facebook every day.
It's awesome.
Every single day. So, and it's because of you guys. We love you.
And we have a group too, which they can actually,
You
in
have-
the group, you can
yes.
actually join the group and tell us what you want to hear about. Tell us,
absolutely.
you know, we would be more than happy to share some of our favorite books with you,
Yep.
you know, things that we found to be really helpful on our path. All you have to do is tell us what you need.
Exactly. Because you too can be a woman unscripted.
Are we supposed to be scripted and hold these up right now?
We're holding these up because Cher designed these for me, and we're going to all throw you some love and a big fat kiss. Thanks for joining us today. Mwah. See you next.